So welcome back to another Gaming Confessions episode. And I promise you one thing with this episode, that the story is crazier than the thumbnail. I really mean it. This story is ridiculous. You would think that this story is made up. I've embellished some parts of it. Let me tell you, this is a story from when I was 19 years old, and it is all real. And it's a legendary story in my life, and I just want to start off by saying everything that I did in this story is terrible. It really is, and I don't condone it, and I wouldn't want anybody else out there to do any of the things that I did when I was 19 years old. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's start this story off where I was 19 years old, and I'm also not going to mention a lot of these people's names. I'm going to refer to them as like girlfriend and things like that and person or whatever. But I was 19 years old. I'd been going out with a girl for quite a few years and we had broken up. I had broken up with her. And you know, even at that time, I'd done the breakup, but you know, it still hurts. You know, you went out with somebody for a long time, you're like, type of thing. And I'm moving on with my life. I'm doing okay. And this is where Star Fox comes into it. Star Fox had just come out and I was playing it all the time. I had my friend Andrew over. We had kids in the neighborhood over. Everybody wanted to play this game. You'd never seen anything like this with the graphics and oh my god, the polygons. It was like, wow, look at this, full 3D. Anyway, so the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend at this point, couldn't stop phoning me. Couldn't stop bugging me. And I'd be playing the game and the phone would be ringing. And I'd pick it up and it'd be one of her friends. And one of her friends is like, oh yeah, your girlfriend, she's going out with some, your ex-girlfriend's going out with some new guy now. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. And I put the phone down and I remember my friend Andrew saying, they're just trying to drive you nuts. Don't feed into it. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. I'm like, yeah. You're right. I shouldn't listen to this. And so I just kept ignoring the phone calls, all that stuff. Anyways, we move on to the weekend, maybe even like a day or two later. And it's like a Friday night. And this is very important to the story. I was just in the process of getting my driver's license. I hadn't gotten it. I was still doing my learner stuff and all that. A guy would come over and teach me how to drive around the neighborhood. And I'm getting ready to do the final exam in maybe about 3 weeks. But I'm still a little bit not ready for it at this point. Still I need a few more lessons. This is still adding to the story. So again, back to Star Fox. I always equate the story to Star Fox. I'm playing the game and it's late at night and here's something, part of the story. I've been drinking. I drank like 6 or 7 beers and I'm just playing the game. I'm having a great time. And then the ex-girlfriend just keeps phoning me up. I'm like, holy shit, so I have to keep picking up the phone. I'm like, listen, just don't phone here anymore. Just stop hanging up. But the phone keeps ringing and ringing. So, I'm like, listen, that's it, blah, blah. And she gets like a final word in on me. And she's like, yeah, well, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And she hangs up on me when she phones me up. And so it really drove me nuts. I'm like, I don't want her getting the final word on me. So I did something. I finally phoned her back. And I fed into it. And you should never, ever do this kind of thing. Never feed into it. I phoned up and this guy answers. And he's like, yeah, she doesn't want you phoning here. I'm like, she's been phoning me all night, man. And he's like, yeah, well, fuck you, buddy, blah, blah, blah. I said, I had a few drinks. I was really getting pissed off in this conversation. I'm like, no, I said, fuck you, you piece of shit. Blah, blah, blah. And he hangs up on me. I was so mad. I lost my mind. I grabbed the car keys, my dad's car keys. My parents were in bed. I got in the car. I couldn't really drive that well. And I'm drinking. This is terrible, folks. As I say, don't do these things. I get in the car and I drove all the way over there. I drove up onto the lawn. I mean, I didn't mean to. I was such a stupid driver. I just came up a little too much. I got out, shut the door, went straight up to her place, and walked in, because I knew that her parents were away for the weekend and all that, and it was just these two. And I just walked in, opened the door, went down, I see him laying on the couch. Just him, I don't know where she is, she's in the other room. I run down the stairs, I get down, and I just fucking one-toot him right in the face. Just boom, boom. And he's like, fucking stunned. I'm like, I said, you're a fucking tough guy on the phone, eh? I said, let's fucking go, buddy. Let's fucking go. And she comes out and she's like, get the fuck out of here, blah, blah, blah. It was a bad scene. It was like the worst scene ever type of thing. And I walked outside and I'm like, come on, man. I said, you fucking say all this shit about me? You want to say this stuff on the phone to me? I said, let's go. I'm right here. This is the flesh. You know, this is even before the internet. There's no typing. This is real. Let's go. And he's hiding behind her. And he's a much bigger guy than me. Let me just say that. He's a much bigger guy than me. And he's hiding because he knew I was damn serious. And she's like, get out of here, go, get out of here. I'm like, fine. So I got in the car, I drove up, and I gotta say, I drove all the way over there. I had the fucking e-brake on the whole way. I was such a stupid noob driver. And I drove all the way home. I get home, I pull into the park, you know, the underground. I get out, I come into the house, and my dad comes down. I said, what the fuck, you took the car? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So I sat down, and I told him what had happened. And he's like, so you drove over there? And you punched this guy in the face? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, good for you, man. He was so like, you have to understand, my dad was a really decent person, but he kind of knew of the shit I was kind of dealing with. And he didn't condone what I did and the way I did it. But he was like, fucking good for you, man. You know, not taking shit from that fucking guy. Like, holy crap. And they've been driving you crazy. He knew they'd been driving, you know, she had been driving me crazy up to that point. And all these, like, just don't do that again. And just don't fucking ever drink and drive. I'm like, yeah, I was 19. I was a dumb, stupid kid. I'm the first to admit that. I look back now, I've just told the story. I'm like, Jesus, you fucking nut job. You're crazy. Like, what the hell is going on? And so I sat down and I was a smoker. I lit a cigarette and I'm like, finally, I can get back to playing Star Fox. And I turned on Star Fox. I start playing it. The phone rings again. And I pick it up and it's the ex-girlfriend. She's like, yeah, you know, he'll come and fight you now. And I just started laughing so hard on the phone. I said, dude, I said, that fucking time has passed. He had his moments. And all of that. And what is more awkwardly funny than anything is that it may be about a month later, I just never talked to these people again. It was all done. I go to a club and I run into her and him. And he's like this much bigger than me. So he's a huge guy. And he comes up and in this club and he walks up and he's like, yeah, so fucking, yeah, you fucking came in, you punched me, you fucking want to fight me, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah? Yeah, well, I didn't appreciate that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and? And it was so funny, just stood toe to toe. I just owned it. I didn't back down and go, yeah, you know, sorry, dude. Sorry about that. I just owned it. And he even was like, fuck, this guy's not backing down. He's nuts. And so he fucking fucked off and all of that. And it's become one of those legendary stories that I can't believe that I did. I can't believe that I went and did that night. And it's just so ridiculous. Some of the things you do when you're younger, and drinking, and driving, and being a hooligan. I did all of those things. There was all of those things encompassed in one night. And I've looked back and I was like, I can't believe that. And I was like, should I come and tell this story? And I thought, you know what? Like I said, I gotta own it. It's something I did. And it's kind of like a moral to the story is when you get older, you realize, I don't know, it's like an out-of-body experience when you look back on some things you do, and they are you. If you like it or not, they are you. And you look back and you go, that's not really me and how I act now. That was me then. And that's how I dealt with the situation then, and I'm here to say that that's not how you deal with the situation. These are not how you want to do things. You know, you don't just want to go straight into violence and all that. I was very primal when I was younger. I've talked about it in some other episodes, but I don't think I've ever really brought it down to earth like I just did. And there were so many things that I did like that, and I think that going forward, I want to tell more of these stories on the channel, and you know, and how they relate to video games at times, and some of the things that are going on in your life that happen that reminds you of a video game. All of that reminds me of Star Fox. What a ridiculous memory. Do a barrel roll. I did a barrel roll right over to seeing that guy that night. That is for sure. And again, I apologize for my actions as a younger guy. I definitely do not condone them. So anyways, guys, until next time.